Okay, hello everybody. So as I understand, I'm actually the last talk, right? You are all really tired, I guess. So I'll try to be quick. So good that I got this lovely introduction. Thank you about the NASA robots that we were building. Actually, the engineering team of Starship got started, very much, by this NASA competition, because essentially we were doing this NASA competition, and then when the idea of Starship came along, then I hired all of my NASA competition team to Starship in 2 weeks. So that's how the engineering team got started. But I'm going to be talking to you about delivery. And one thing about the delivery is that it doesn't actually really work. The people really like delivery, consumers really like it, but they do not really want to pay for it. And you might think that actually, what you think depends on what type of person you are. There are two types of people in this audience. There's some people here in this audience who know exactly what I'm talking about. And these are the businesses that are actually paying for delivery. They immediately understand what I'm talking about here. I don't need to really explain in this slide. But there are other types of people in this audience as well whose main experience with delivery is as a consumer. And as a consumer, delivery actually really works for you most of the time, right? You only paid this, last night for your delivery, for your food or grocery delivery, like 99 pence or something like that. What do you mean I don't want to pay for it? I do want to pay 99 pence, for it. The thing is that it wasn't actually you paying for delivery. The real going price for last mile delivery that businesses are actually paying is more like, £5, £6, £7, and upwards from that. So if you paid 99 pence, you weren't actually paying for that. It's the company that paid for that, or actually their investors, or maybe the LPs in these VC funds that actually paid for it. Right. So that is actually the problem. And there have been also some recent news in some of the last mile delivery companies, not doing so well and having trouble and so forth, and there's regulations that are actually good things about making sure that people have good living conditions and are being paid more than minimum wage and so forth. And that economics also means that local businesses can't really offer delivery. It's too expensive for them. So what is the solution? The human-based delivery hasn't really evolved for a long time, and the prices are not really coming down. So how do we make the economics work? There is actually no real solution to that without robotics. Robotics can lower the cost of delivery. And we started thinking, how can we solve this with robotics some years ago? And this is what we came up with. There was actually a lot of imagining that we needed to do to actually make this happen. How does actually a robot look? How do people treat robots in public spaces? Robots actually do not really work in public spaces all that much. You see robots actually in this background image. Here, the robots working in a factory, right? That's where robots are used. We were actually the first company to really commercially operate robots in public spaces. So we had to actually think, how do we design the robot? What sort of design would people actually accept? There was a lot of stuff that we needed to think about, and looks like actually other companies coming after us, have actually settled on a very, very similar look. Some of them actually very similar look. We started commercial operations in UK in 2018. We started out in Milton Keynes. It's a nice sort of planned city with underpasses and so forth. It's a really one of the easiest places to start with robots in public spaces in the UK. But we have since actually expanded to more cities and towns in UK that are very much typical UK, not like Milton Keynes. So it's like Northampton, Bedford, Rushden, and so forth. So by now, we are at the place where we can do actually any city. It's not that, robots require, roundabouts everywhere and so forth. It doesn't have to be like that. We started out in Milton Keynes, but now we can do actually any city. So what more can we do? Weather is actually one typical challenge for autonomous technology. There's some self-driving car companies that operate only in places where there's palm trees and sun is always shining and so forth. So in order to actually have a commercial operation, you can't really have that. Our robots can now operate in rain. They can also operate, light or dark. They can also operate in snow. So weather tolerance or tolerance of the elements and various things that happen out and about is actually a really important thing for an autonomous system to really be ready for commercial scale, right? And this is actually hard. It's hard to make the robotics really work in public spaces in commercial scale. There have been actually a number of companies that have tried to automate last mile delivery. We are not the only company at all. We're probably the most successful one, but there have been lots of companies that have tried, but also given up on this and said that they couldn't get this to work, actually. But we actually have gotten this to work, and we are in the scaling phase. So we scaled, beyond this, first city that we launched in UK. We also scaled beyond the UK. We are actually in 40 locations now in Europe and US. Most of you probably do not live in these 40 locations, but there's lots of people that actually do. There's millions of people who live in locations where we serve, and for whom this is actually an everyday practice, everyday thing. They see robots all the time in public spaces because they live in these places. And we do real 24/7 operation. We operate every day. We have done millions of deliveries by now. So this really works. And there's a lot of details that we have needed to figure out to make this really work. And there's a lot of things that you might think, why this wouldn't work. Like one question we always get is that, people are stealing the robots, why, definitely somebody will steal the robots. I will tell you, for some reason, people are really fascinated by the concept of potentially stealing robots, but it doesn't really happen. We have done close to 4 million deliveries. People are not stealing robots. It doesn't really happen. If you operate a bike courier network, I'm sure with 4 million deliveries, you get more bikes stolen than we get robots stolen. It doesn't really happen. Also, one other thing that, do people really, accept interacting with robots? They're used to interacting with these delivery persons that, come to their door, right? People love human contact, right? They actually love human contact with their friends more like, not really, with the delivery person. So actually, it's a really exciting experience for them to receive something with the robot. It's a very different experience. Actually, the robot sometimes sings for you, and it's really nice, and people are really, really excited actually about it. So we have built a real commercial quality solution. It's not a gimmick. It's not a toy. It's not something that I'm showing you right now on the stage. You think, this is like a bit of a design object, or this is something that goes on the stage. Actually, no. At the same time that, this robot, is here on the stage, these robots, brothers and sisters, we have 2,000 of them or so. They have actually done, thousands of deliveries today. Like this is 4 p.m. right now or something like that, right? We have done thousands of deliveries today. Not this robot. This is here on the stage, but other robots, right? So, okay, enough about, like showing you just, slides with words and so forth, Here's actually a picture of, how one robot in Northampton, drove one day. There's this, trajectory in yellow that the robot, crossed this street, with a crosswalk, and then, went to the left and so forth. And it would be really nice actually if you could actually see this picture move, right? Where did the robot go? From here. Looks like I actually have magical powers. I can make this picture move. I can just say, whoa, and the picture moves. So here's actually a replay of an actual day in Northampton with our robots, doing delivery, and there's this is sped up a little bit, right? Our robots actually don't go that fast. And every time there's, the robot makes a delivery, there's this orange flash in this in this video, and that should be happening about now. And we're zooming out right now a little bit. This is morning time. This was kind of the first delivery that was done, during this day. But you see other robots, other yellow spots. Okay, in nearby a store. This is morning now. It's kind of exploding. There's more and more deliveries, being done. And we zoom out. It's not just this one robot that we have, right? Okay, the video was cut a little bit short, but you know, no, it doesn't play anymore. Okay, so we have built a whole system for autonomous logistics at scale. You know, these actually hundreds of robots. If the video would have continued, we actually zoom out to the whole city, and there's like hundreds of robots doing deliveries and thousands of deliveries, every day. If you live in one of these places where we operate, these cities get their groceries with our robots. Robots are really commonplace there. So how can this actually how does this actually look from a robot standpoint, right? Here's a video filmed from the robot, actually. This is, again, also Northampton. And you see a robot going on the sidewalk, and this image is actually really, really blurry because we take actually privacy very seriously at Starship. Our robots have cameras. I'm I'm showing you intentionally a very blurry image right now. So you see the robot is doing it's a sidewalk robot. It goes on the sidewalk. It drives a little bit faster than a pedestrian, so we're catching up a little bit, to the pedestrians. And now we're going up to a crossing. How does the robot actually cross the road? It actually observes traffic. If there is, traffic signals, it observes these. If not, it just looks, there's no traffic, and it just crosses the road. And now it makes a turn, and there's also other things that robots can do. Now there's some more crossings in Northampton, in another place. So there's a place here right now where there's a little bit more traffic. You see the robot observes the traffic and see how the cars are moving, and now it stops in the middle of the road and looks around, sees what's around. The robot actually has 360-degree visibility, so more than I'm showing you right now. So the robot actually saw behind itself that these cars are coming before you are seeing this on this video. So that's why the robot is waiting before crossing the road, because it knows that there are more cars coming. And we can show you, we have thousands of robots doing these deliveries all the time. These are just random videos I'm showing to you right now. And the robots can handle both vehicles, they can handle pedestrians. This is actually, now let's jump to the US. This is actually a place where there's actually a lot of pedestrians. The robot goes on its way on the sidewalk here right now. And you can see there's a little bit of a different climate here. But the robots have tons of technology inside them. They have 10 cameras. They observe where the bicycles go, where the pedestrians go, where the vehicles go, where other robots go, actually. They are aware of each other as well and avoid each other so they don't collide, for example, and so forth. And it has taken quite a lot of time to get this actually really working in commercial scale, but we have done it, and it does work, and it is a commercial quality solution. You can see actually another robot, coming up here. So in the places where we operate, our robots are really popular. Some of these places are kind of full of robots in a way. Now let's jump to another place, Helsinki, where we are also operating in Finland. Now talk about snow and snow tolerance. It's really, really needed there. And crossings are actually a really important element for the robot's journey. We need to handle crossings really well. We need to be really safe, and our robots are actually programmed to be quite cautious because safety is as important as privacy. And the robots are cautious, and they look at that. If the traffic is clear and they can cross the road. Yeah, so good to see the robot, robots doing these journeys, and we are operating in. These are just random videos that I chose. We are operating in 40 different locations, and this really works in many different locations. And we figured out the safety, we figured out the human interaction parts, we have figured out also the commercials and everything that has to do with it. So our robots are really, put it this way, integrated into the daily life of a community. This is actually super normal in these communities. Robots really blend in. They're really mainstream. They form the fabric of the neighborhood, if you live in one of these places where we operate. some people are doing just their first order. Some people have done, more than 600 orders with us, because it's a service, it's a habit that they have, gotten used to. Like people in Milton Keynes have had this opportunity for, since 2018 to use our service. Now, we do think though that our robots are not going to be delivering everything. If you want to order a piano and want to get it delivered to your home, our robots are not going to be the best for that. So I don't think we are going to be actually taking the whole delivery market that is out there, but robotic delivery is really here, and it's really possible to take a significant part of the last mile delivery market. So we have commercial agreements with these partners, and actually a few more. So we're working with Tesco and Co-op in UK. We just actually announced a partnership with Grubhub in the US to do deliveries for them, and also a number of other partners. And the interesting thing is also that, just also to drive home the point that, this is not a gimmick, this is not something that, you use just once, or this is not an exhibition object, is that in the places we operate, in the stores and restaurants that we serve, we're actually doing more than 10% of the store's business, because they're really popular. Our service is really popular in the places where we operate. So thank you. I'm out of time, but I hope I really drove home the point that the robotic delivery really is a delivery solution, not just for the future. It's easy to say this is a delivery solution for the future, but this is also actually a delivery solution for today as well. Thank you.